Hey there, it's Orrin Weintraub with the Dale Carnegie 30-Day Challenge. We are applying one principle per day and leading people to higher performance. It's day 29. Today's principle is use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Faults can seem glaring. Sometimes, some faults even appear to be permanent, unchangeable. Being disorganized, having trouble showing up on time, aggressive behavior, passive behavior, unhealthy diets, you name it. I often hear people say, people can't change. Now I want to admit something. I want to admit that I take that statement and statements like that personally. Like an insult, like an attack on my very profession. I work in the transformation industry, And how exactly can a transformation industry exist if people can't change? How can a company like Dale Carnegie, which was founded in 1912, which is based on empowering people so that they can show up different tomorrow than they did yesterday, how can a company like that still be around after 100 years if people can't change? I'll let you sit with that question for a moment while I tell you, with 2 days left in the Dale Carnegie 30-Day Challenge, one of the most inspiring, impressive, humbling stories of transformation that I have ever had the honor and privilege of witnessing with my own two eyes. And by the way, it's one of the reasons I work in this field. Before, in a previous job, I worked for a company that did educational and recreational workshops for kids. It was a beautiful summer's day. We were at a summer camp in a big grassy area with about 20 kids, a couple of teachers, and I was co-facilitating this workshop with somebody brand new who had just joined the company. We'll call him Bob. I ran the first activity as an example to Bob, and then Bob stepped in and ran the second activity, and after about 10 seconds of watching Bob facilitate, my heart sank. He was the most timid, shy, low-energy person I had ever seen attempt at being a facilitator. And as I saw him do his thing, all I could think to myself was, oh honey, this isn't for you. Now during the lunch break, I was in my head thinking about how, what I was going to say to my manager if he asked me how today's event went. Looking over at the teachers, I could see they weren't that happy about how things were going with Bob. Bob interrupted my train of thought and asked me if I had any pointers for him. And while I was thinking to myself, well, I don't know where to start, I offered him a couple of techniques he could use to get the kids' attention and get their energy higher that he could start to use right after the break. And I said, these are, just focus on these. They're simple, they're easy. Just do this and don't worry about anything else. And he said, wow, cool. That looks so easy. Thanks. And my heart's like breaking for this guy because I'm thinking there's no way that he's going to be sticking around. When he got back up there to run his second activity that afternoon, he applied all of the techniques that I had given him. And not only that, he did them with perfect accuracy. And the kids were looking at him and listening to him, and their attention and enthusiasm were his. And quite frankly, I was impressed. I had not expected that at all. It was humbling. And while his performance was still substandard, and that's putting it mildly, I'd say it was very substandard, I saw him change out of his sheer willpower and intention that his second go at being a facilitator was going to be better and more effective than the first. I saw him change ever so slightly. Later that week, I got called into the office. They had received a complaint from the day camp. They wanted to know why we had sent them someone like Bob, who clearly wasn't cut out for this kind of work. So there I was, sitting across the table from senior management with my direct supervisor sitting next to me, and they're saying, look, we don't doubt Bob's seriousness and his commitment to this job. We interviewed him. We wouldn't have put him out there if he hadn't passed the interview. And, we see that he's showing up prepared and showing up on time and showing up professional. But, this could hurt our client relationships. Oren, you worked with him. What do you think? No pressure. Well, I told them what I saw, that, everything you're saying is correct. And also, by the way, I gave him these techniques and he went and applied them. And I saw this change really fast. He's very intentional about growing and being more effective. Let's keep him on for a couple of months and see where he is, in a couple of months. Every time I worked with Bob from then forward, I gave him 1 or 2 ways that he could refine his technique. Soon, he had developed his own energy and his own style. And the last time I ever had the pleasure of working with Bob, I saw a group of kids clinging to his every word. And when it was time for us to go, they were clinging to his legs, trying to get him to stay. Imagine if I would have said something different during that meeting. I don't want to hear any more garbage about people can't change. Okay? It's crap. The only reason that people don't change is they don't believe in themselves, and we don't give them a chance. Bob believed in himself, and that man discovered who he is in that job because we gave him a chance. So use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct, and you will get transformation. If you've gotten some value out of this video, please click like. And please share this video with the people in your circles. It will make a difference to them. My name is Oren Weintraub. This is the Dale Carnegie 30-Day Challenge. I'll see you tomorrow for Principle 30.